Hello, Wake Up New Zealand, Carol Sager speaking. Well, the 8th of March is International Women's Day. Well, I'm more family and orientated. I think women, men, they're all human beings, and that's my take on it. All have hearts and souls, and all are capable of the good, the bad, and the ugly, all intertwined. So anyhow, I took a bit of notice when I saw this bit of research that says it was a fact checker thing that the 8th of March 2023, the International Commission of Jurists, ICJ, published a 25-page report. Now, they had been collaborating for 5 years with UN agencies and the UN Human Rights Commissioner as to an approach as to human rights and criminal law. So I thought, fact checker, why are they doing a fact check on this? Let's look at the original and what does it say? So I had a read of that, and it elaborated and endorsed upon lawyers worldwide about human rights approach to criminal law, penalising conduct associated with sex, reproduction and drug use. And it all seemed okay. Then it goes on to say a commitment by the UN to fighting sexual exploitation. Wow. Fact checkers reported that it did not call for a decriminalisation of sex with children as reported on social media. Really? However, after researching and reading the original official UN report, I'm going to refer to the following, which is included in the report. So I'm fact-checking these fact checkers. So under the principles within this report, the principles of consensual sexual conduct involving persons below the domestically prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual. So what they're saying is the prescribed minimum age domestically, whatever country, a person under the age of 18 or whatever that age of consensual sex is in that country may be consensual. So they can make up their own mind whether they're going to have consensual sex or not. So it's been left up to the minor. So it goes on to say, in fact, if not by law in this context, the enforcement of criminal law should reflect the rights and capacities of persons under the age of 18 years of age to make decisions about engaging in consensual sexual conduct and their right to be heard in matters concerning them. So it's their right to give consent to sexual conduct under the age of 18. So yes, it is decriminalisation of sex with adults, children's sex with adults, totally. So the ICJ was established after the Second World War, the Cold War in Germany, with its Cold War roots, which had been left behind in many institutions, academia, university, captured by the extreme woke liberals. So the idea of consent being deconstructed with little to no attention given to family, parental rights, Christian beliefs and values, responsibility of individuals and the raising of children. Targeting families, children, traditions, families, parental rights. So the UN 8 March Principles report was a collaboration between the UN Human Rights Commissioner and UNAIDS as a guide to human rights laws internationally, addressing what was said to be over-criminalization in matters pertaining to sexual activity, gender identity, and expression. So they envisioned this to be going globally, applied globally, UN member states. This report risks pedophilia being normalized, redefines consensual sexual activity as minors are able to give consent. The UN report moreover, sexual conduct involving people below the domestically prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual in fact, if not a law. In this context, the enforcement of criminal law should reflect the rights and capacities of persons under the age of 18, and that is minors. Minors can give consent to sexual activity, whether it be with other minors or adults. So to make decisions about engaging in consensual sexual conduct and their rights to matters concerning them, with specific attention to non-discrimination guaranteed. So traditionally, it's recognised that minors cannot consent to sexual activity, even if a teenager is accused of seducing an adult that is not consent. So the UNICJ 8th March Principles exposes minor to serious harms and risks. And that could be child trafficking, prostitution, and other criminal aspects, harm to health, body and limb, the emotional harm, mental harm, physical, spiritual, criminal harm. They could be put in such harm that they are murdered, they are killed. There is lots of harm there that they are exposed to with this sort of thing happening. So aspects in the criminal world to children, like rapists, paedophilia. Now, I question, does this report of child paedophilia, if not now, in the future, does this prescribe child paedophilia now, and if not now, in the future? Because I believe it is now from what this report reads. This also pushes what is called inclusion and diversity. Look at those words. It's the language, the words. Look at what it means behind the words. It's all there. So the Beehive website, 13th of April 2022, Jan Tanichi, her speech to the House on new school resources on consent, gender diversity and inclusion, referring to the relationship and sexuality education in the school curriculum in New Zealand. It's called RSE, which she calls a new well-being. And this is what it's called. This is she called it. She said that it's designed with a sense of trust. Well, don't groomers and sexual abusers look for a sense of trust from young people and children so they can groom them, they can sexually abuse them? That's exactly what they do. Gain that sense of trust. And children always have their favourite teachers that they will always trust. So authority to children. They trust that authority. They don't question. So Tinetti says diversity, inclusion, sexuality and relationship education is evidence-based on pornographic resources, and that is what she said. And these pornographic resources developed by academics, universities, governments, UN with its international laws. This is what Tinetti said. So don't be fooled by that language of diversity and inclusion, because it's more about decreasing diversity of thought, to exclude anyone who dissents from the party line, deny justice, deny fairness, deny the truth. That's what they want, for you to deny the truth, to have apathy, to go along with their ideals, to fit their purpose, to aggressively attack targets. So if you speak out, they will aggressively attack you like they did the mob that attacked Posey Parker and the rest of us who were in that particular area at the time, because we did not fit their picture the way they are. So these effects are actually hidden in the language. So there is an international deliberate emotive value to make people less diverse, less moral, less justifiable, less tolerant, less critical, increasing apathy. Now you're getting that in critical theory, etc. Look what's happening in schools. So this is really dangerous and very destructive, and it needs to stop. So whoever dares to express a contrary opinion must be shut down aggressively, to demand that they don't speak. Where the rainbow police with their little rainbow bracelets will stand far away and let you be attacked because you're simply standing there and don't fit the picture. And then they respond by saying, hey, look, I've just been attacked 4 times. I've had my phone snatched. Please say, but they're passionate. Yes, and so are murderers, so are rapers, and so are child traffickers, and so are child abusers. So Women's Day, March the 8th, principles, UN sacrifice women, children, young people under the age of 18 to give them sexual consent to having sexual relationships with children and adults. Children have sexual consent to have sex with whomever they like. And here you have in the UK's second largest teachers' union overwhelmingly voted that they have more sexual fetish adult entertainment in schools by drag queens and kings. Why? To challenge the heterosexual normality. That's what they said. That is exactly what they said. So in Nashville, we heard about the children and the adults that got shot by this trans murderer as he strolled up and down the school corridors with 3 assault rifles and a handgun. 5 days later, there's a protest in Nashville outside the Supreme Court. The theme, trans vengeance by aggressive LGBT +1 +2 whatever you like protesters. 5 days after that very sad happening. No conscience. Take no blame, and no one blames them. The law doesn't blame them, stands by to let them do as they like. And that is exactly what is happening. So safeguarding of our children has been replaced by fetish adult sexual entertainment. Children taught by what Genetic calls evidence-based information through pornography. And UN, international rules, human rights, children, minors under the age of 18 can consent to having sex with adults or anyone they like. And this is the damn truth. This is the truth. So that's my fact-checking for today. Wake up, New Zealand. Time to stand up and speak out. Our children are relying on us. Our children are very trustworthy of those teachers in school. You cannot trust this government. You cannot trust this totalitarian authority of cultural Marxism, socialism on steroids, a communist type regime that is dictating to us and our children. Wake up now.